Let's get right into it. Top 10 matchup between OSU and Penn State.
Is that what that was?
That's exactly what it was.
I thought it was a contest to see who could not pick up the least amount of third and shorts. That's what I thought it was. I thought it was a contest to see who could fail the most times in short yardage attempts. That's what I thought it was.
Well,
but
Penn
you said
State,
it was a top 10 matchup?
Penn State succeeded. So
no, they won. They won for sure. 1 for 16 beats everything.
So
1 for 16 on third down beats everything.
So that's what it was.
They won.
Penn State got that.
No,
so,
they won for sure.
All right. So first of all, I'm aware that there were some glaring things that obviously need fixed, being obviously the offense and even the quarterback to some extent. Obviously, he makes a lot of mistakes, overthrows, and things of that nature. And if Marvin Harrison wasn't in the room, it'd be rough. However, can we not also blame on the fact that we don't really have a run game at all because our offensive line is not that great? So therefore, there's kind of some room for him to not be that good. And I don't want to give him all the excuses in the world, but
that makes it not be any room for him to not be that good. That means he has to be so much better because he doesn't have those things.
Sure.
That's what you would want, ideally.
Sure. With that being said, 22 for 35, 286 yards, and a touchdown and no interceptions is not bad.
That 22 of 35, I'm not going to say that it's skewed. I will say that at one point it looked like 16 for 35.
Okay.
Is the way that it was feeling it was going until we were able to breathe, number one, off of the called back touchdown in the first half before the end of the half.
Sure.
And then the offense that has really been the only offense all season, which is throw the ball to Marv.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if that's the case, it sounds like you only got to do one thing to Ohio State to beat them, which is limit Marvin Harrison Jr.
Now, we can also be fair and say that I'd probably say at least up to 5 of those that were missed were wide receiver drops as well.
No, sure. I mean,
we'll
Marv had a couple
where
where it seemed like he didn't even want to he's like, look, man, put the ball on my body or I'm not going to get it. Okay?
Sure.
Stop fucking with me.
Julian Fleming had a drop.
Get this ball on me or I'm not going to catch it. Like some type of one-handed joints where he was like, I was like, okay. I mean, I feel like if you would have extended, maybe we would have caught that one.
Yeah, I'll give you that. So I say all that to say that Kyle McCord is not the best quarterback in the nation. I will admit that I'm not stupid. Okay. I can see where he's making glaring mistakes. It is what it is. I do not need to see my timeline riddled with Kyle McCord sucks. Kyle McCord is terrible. Kyle McCord sucks.
Like the madness that was going on in that group on Saturday, I was just like, oh my, the joke that you told earlier about, oh yeah, get Lincoln Keyholtz. No, they was dead ass. They was like, shit. I mean, just put Lincoln Keyholtz in that Packer. He's hella athletic. I was like, yo,
I need you guys to shut up. If there's one thing that this season has done for me, it's make me realize why people hate Ohio State fans.
I was like, damn, we in the middle of the first half and they already calling for Lincoln Keyholtz.
That's not the only thing that pissed me off from Ohio State fans. Dallin Hayden had a good game against Purdue. In the game, he didn't even get 100 yards in. He is not the definitive answer. I don't know why y'all keep thinking that. He's a good running back.
I think it's because every time he gets in, he has success. And so kind of how like we deal with it over at Michigan. If someone who's not supposed to have a bunch of success has a bunch of success, you automatically start moving him up in the depth chart on your mind off of that one performance. You haven't seen him practice all week. You don't know how he practices week in, week out. You don't know what the guys behind him or around him are doing week in and week out. You don't know what the game plan was. All you think you see is a big stat line.
Which wasn't even that big.
And you think that translates to him having a bigger role in the offense going forward, and it doesn't always work out like that. Sometimes he was called to do something in a spot, and he performed exceedingly well, and now we move on to what we need for this week. Yeah. That may or may not involve Dallin Hayden. That's just how college football works.
As if he doesn't have the same offensive line that he's running behind as Chip Trayanum and Mayan Williams.
Mm-hmm.
It's just these takes that I see that I'm just like, dog, just shut up.
Like, I don't think Dallin Hayden would have got y'all that fourth down conversion on the goal line. I don't think if we're throwing bubble screen on 4th and 2 on the goal line now, we 4th and goal. We throwing bubble screen with 2 yards to go. I don't think Dallin Hayden was the problem. I don't think Dallin Hayden not playing was the issue.
I would agree. And at some points, it is Ryan Day's fault for the play calling at certain points. It's not his fault all the time. And I will admit that as well. Sometimes his play calling makes a play.
I think there are things that he wants to do that he can't get to early because Kyle is just not a very prolific passer.
I'll give you that.
And so when he's forced to you know what they're really good at? They're really good at scripted drives. Yeah. They're really good on their scripted drives. And you should be, right? Because those are your best plays. And they're kind of, you put them in a certain order so that you can get them defending this and then go another way. Or you get them keying on this and you do a different action off of that or off of the formation. But
playing on the fly and making adjustments is not
It's not when he has to get into his drop back passing game, straight drop back passing. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look like they have anything going. And that's even when they're trying to get to Marvin Harrison. Because if you take that first read away from Kyle McCord, I hope Kate Sover's on the field. I hope he's there to run 3 guys over and pick up a first down. Because that is it. That's the offense.
Or hopefully we get Emeka back.
Let's look at Marv. But even when Emeka was out there, it's not like he was having monster games. Emeka
he was not, but he was the second to third option.
I mean, even in the Notre Dame game, man, it wasn't until that last drive that
but he was the one that did it, though.
Okay, I mean, cool. But you can't count on that, though. Is my point.
Sure, no, I agree.
You can't wait for a guy to wait for the last minute of the game to show his ass and be like, all right, now we can count on him. That's not.
You're
know,
right. You're right. I'll give you that.
So it's like we're gonna look out to Marv. Marv ain't there. Middle to Stover. Nope, can't do it. I guess I'm getting sacked. Like, if those things aren't there, they don't have an offense. Mm-hmm. And honestly, what I got from Penn State yesterday watching that game is that they're basically Iowa. They have an elite defense. The DBs are okay. They're not great, but they're okay.
And they're not Iowa's DBs.
I feel like that's a toss-up, to be honest with you. But
Kalen King or Cooper DeJean?
It's toss up.
You think so?
Toss up. Because for everything that they tried to tell me about Kalen King, I mean, I hate to put it all on the kid, but he shit down his leg on that drive before at the end of the half. Yeah. He absolutely shit on his leg. There was no reason to even grab Marvin at that point. Mm-hmm. He's going to get sacked. Or he's going to make an errant throw. You know why? Because of all the throws that I've seen Kyle McCord make this season, across the body, being hit back over the middle late is not his greatest throw. Even if he's throwing to Marvin Harrison Jr. You literally don't have to grab him. And so, okay, well, maybe that's a questionable call. Maybe he didn't pull him. Maybe they were within the 5 yards. Let's throw that one away, right? Keep playing football. It's not like they're running up and down the field. You can still get a stop and maybe force them to a field goal. Mm-hmm. Oh, no. I'm going to get another one on the same wideout. Don't tell me he's elite. That's not an elite corner.
It's
not an elite corner.
Yep.
He can still be a fine player. He can still be very good. I think he played all right. But Johnny Dixon and the other corner out there outplayed him.
Oh, yes.
They definitely outplayed him.
Yep.
There weren't many times where Manny was able to leave Kalen King one-on-one with Marvin Harrison until the second half. And lo and behold, look what they got in the second half. So, yeah, miss me on the Kalen King thing. Fine player, but not Will Johnson.
Sure.
Not Kool-Aid, Mike Samra still is playing corner better than Kalen King is right now.
So now that I gave all my gripes against Buckeye Nation, the key things that obviously were great for Ohio State were, the fact that the defense still looks elite. Still looks like one of the top 3 defenses.
I will say Ohio State's defense is much improved. They haven't given up nearly as many big plays as they gave up last year. And that's even against bad competition, because we saw them struggle against Toledo last year and, some teams that they probably shouldn't have struggled against. Mm-hmm. So I will give them credit that they have made big strides on defense to get a lot better. They give up yards in the mesh in the soft spot of the field, so kind of in between the 35s. They get a lot of yardage there, but they kind of bow their necks when they're in the red zone or the kind of that plus zone at the 30-35 areas where they really start to get really tight. Yeah. And the problems that I thought Penn State would have the running ball did happen. Mm-hmm. But then I have to, if I'm saying that, then I have to give credit to OSU for making it be that way.
Oh, yeah. You got your 2 running backs that everybody thought were just going to run all over the field, and neither one of them got more than 50 yards. I
didn't buy that. They were averaging like 3 yards a play, 3.5 yards a carry.
Or maybe I think K-Tron had 60-something yards, but still.
It wasn't very impressive. Yeah. Nick Singleton got loose for a couple plays. He also had a big drop on a 3rd down in the shadow of their own end zone. At least gives them some more room to boot it and change the field. He drops a pass. The wide receivers didn't do much of anything for me. There was a lot of holding on KJ Hamler, I will say that. But, they weren't winning. The guys weren't getting open. They just weren't. It was so bad that Joel and Gus were talking about it.
Credit to the DBs for stepping up despite Denzel Burke not being there. And more specifically,
I think it was easy. I think once they took care of one, once they took care of him, I think it was easy. I don't think they had. He didn't even try to throw to anybody else.
No, that's true.
We didn't see anything to tight ends. We didn't see anything to any of the other wide receivers outside.
But there was a few plays where I seen freshman DB Jermaine Matthews out there clamping up Penn State wide receivers. For sure. So shout out to that, especially being it's your first year.
But just, man, looking at the stat, 16 of 43 or 17 of 43.
Sounds about right.
Fam.
Yeah.
Go hang. That's Spencer Petras. Oh, yeah. Like legit, that is Spencer Petras. That's what we talking about right now. That is Iowa football.
Yeah.
You have a running game that will get you some yardage in between the 40s, but we ain't really doing much with it outside of that, and you're not gonna score a whole bunch of points. Mm-hmm. And your defense is gonna be good enough to keep you in the game well into the 4th quarter, but it can't score for you today, so you're gonna lose. That's Iowa. That's Iowa. That's how Iowa just lost a 12-10 game.
Yep. Now, granted, he should have got that punt return, but
no, they robbed him. But I'm saying the only reason why that was in question is because they can't score points.
Yeah, facts.
Because all you could muster was 10 points. So that's Penn State.
And a special teams.
That's literally Penn State. James Franklin. Okay, so now that this has happened, and Penn State has lost to Ohio State for the 7th year in a row, can we stop doing this? Like, at least stop comparing it to us. Stop comparing James Franklin to Jim Harbaugh. Stop comparing Penn State to Michigan.
Stop comparing James Franklin and Ryan Day as well. It's 5-0.
I don't speak for them. I
know. I'm throwing that in there. 5-0.
Cut it out. Cut it the fuck out. Okay? Because my coach would never surrender with 7 minutes left on the clock and go for it on 4th down in his own territory. And then go to the press conference and be like, oh, well, we had to be aggressive. No, you did not. No, you didn't. You had 7 minutes on the clock. Your defense has been playing lights out for the most part, less so in the second half. But they were able to spook you so much with those 2 drives with Marvin Harrison, where they threw to him habitually, that you spazzed out and went for it on 4th and 7. 4th and 2, 4th and 1, and you've been running the ball well at that. Okay, maybe you're a little bit more confident. You take a risk. You go down here and get some points. 4th and 7 from your own 35 is suicide. It's a suicide mission. Why are we hinging the game on this right now? Lo and behold, after Ohio State scores, they get the ball back and they go down and score a touchdown. Now, James, just spitballing here. If you'd have kicked the ball away, got a stop on Ohio State, went down and scored on your next possession like you ended up doing anyways, and the score was still 13-6, how do you think the game would have gone?
A little different.
Like, don't give me that weak ass shit about, hindsight's 2020. Obviously, we didn't get it, so it was a bad call. No, it was a bad call from the very moment you thought about it, because it took all your options away and moved all your chips into the middle of the table for a 4th and 7 with 7 minutes left on the clock. That is an inferior coaching mind. It just is.
Yeah.
And then to go back and rationalize it after the fact tells me that you learned nothing from it and you will make the same mistake again at some point. James Franklin is an slightly above average football coach.
Yep.
Slightly above average coach.
And he will never be better than third in the Big Ten East.
Also, another thing I want y'all to just shut up forever about recruiting. Shut up forever. Forever. You want to go and delve into recruiting stories in the offseason with us? Please do. But please stop telling me that it translates to championships and that's the only thing that it matters. Penn State consistently out recruits Michigan, at least in the last 5 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
Does Penn State even look remotely close to Michigan? Honestly, after watching that game on Saturday, as a football fan, not a normie, I don't want any normie takes. Can you honestly tell me that Penn State is as good as Michigan? I have a hard time saying Ohio State is, but at least they won the game. Do you honestly think Penn State is in the same stratosphere as Michigan right now? What are we even talking about? What are we talking about?
No.
What the fuck are we talking about?
No.
And as good as their defense played, as well as they played, and in the bad spots that their coach continuously put them in, a defense that was giving up 6 points and was claiming that they were the number one defense in the country gave up 20. 10 in the second half.
Yep.
I ain't seen Michigan give up 10 points. Well, except for once this season. You gave it up in a half and gave up the game. Nah, I won't do that. I'll put that more on the offense. The defense did not give up this game. Because, I mean, you do that to us.
They play well enough.
You do that to us. You give up a score like that early in the fourth, you're giving us a death sentence.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my thoughts on the game, man.
Aside from JT owns Penn State, aside from that point,
fam, he need to send his first NFL check back to State College. To Happy Valley, not State College. Well, yeah, State College in Happy Valley. Mm-hmm. He needs to send it back there because they have made his career. They've essentially made his career. If he even smells the first round, it's because of these two games against Penn State.
James Franklin directly, or Drew Aller, or Sean Clifford.
Pay him his money the same way that if Mel Tucker get this buyout, he better break Kenneth Walker off some. Because
he definitely needs.
Otherwise, he shouldn't even have been there. Same thing with JT. Because you take those two games away, look at the stat line for the last 2 years for JT. Take those 2 games away and look at the remaining stats. It's all said.
Aside from that point that I just wanted to throw out there, that he is the father of Penn State, I want to know, where is my money? Because a lot of people told me before this season that Ohio State is a 3-loss team. Fuck all of you. Because that's not true. Even if we lose to them, 1-loss team, okay. That's what we've been the last couple of seasons. Y'all told me 3-loss team at best.
Well, don't talk it up now. Don't talk it up. Because it is the nature of this college football season for somebody to have a big top 10 win and then absolutely doo-doo down their leg versus an inferior team the following week. It has happened every single week.
That's true. Most of those have been Florida State, by the way. Do you think that's going to happen with this defense?
I mean,
with the slate that we have up before you guys of Wisconsin, Rutgers, Michigan State, and
well, certainly not with Rutgers. Rutgers will probably invite you into their back door and let you stay there all day.
All right, bro.
Since they love you and your program so much. They actually want to combine programs with you. They want to be Ohio State East.
They already are. Shout out to Greg Schiano.
Jesus Christ. And I'll accept it too. They already are. Ohio State
Wisconsin,
East.
Rutgers, Michigan State, Minnesota before Michigan. The likelihood that we lose 3 games now, not so likely.
Well, so 3 games in the season overall, or are we just talking about in the regular season?
I was told matter of fact, I was told specifically Notre Dame, Penn State, Michigan.
Okay. Well, that's obviously not going to happen.
You were wrong.
But I could see 2 regular season losses and a bowl loss.
I don't see that either.
I could see Wisconsin, Michigan, and then losing a bowl.
I see
as a possibility.
Maybe.
I'm not gonna bet that, but I could see that.
I see maybe the only loss being obvious. Other than that, nope. I don't see it.
Okay.
I don't see it.
I mean, you don't know who you're going to play in a bowl game, prospectively, right now.
Man, we going to the playoffs, boy.
Yeah, that with the best win on your season being a 2-loss, at best case, 2-loss Penn State team.
Oh, you think? Oh, yeah, because they're going.
Yeah, like in the best scenario, they're going to be a 2-loss team. So
I don't know, man. Maybe our best win is yet to come. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Sure. Hold out hope.
I don't know.
Hold out hope.